Right, I'm doing a fell race today. Behind me, there's loads of mist. It's super steep. That's where I'm going to be coming down at the end. It's like -5. Let's see how we do. -5 on the top, not down here. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, go!
So this was my first proper fell race. I've done lots of cross country, lots of road running, and I've also even done a little bit of mountain running and a little bit of ultra distance running, but this was my first short course fell race. It's a 5-mile race with around 2,500 feet of ascent and descent, which is about 750 meters of climb and descent. The race started in Thrakeld in the Lake District, and you climb up along a lot of fields through the grass before reaching the bottom of the big climb, which is all the way up Dodic Fell to reach the Blencathra summit. And you've got a bit of ridgeline running, and then you come down Blease Fell in a really steep descent, which comes back to Thrakeld where the finish line is. The weather was a bit warmer than we anticipated, but the clag was still down on the tops, and we knew that there was going to be snow once we got above the skyline. So lots of people were wearing some cold weather gear, but I'd chosen to race just in my vest and my split shorts, and I had a pair of gloves on just in case. There were 210 people running, and as is normal in fell racing, this included men and women across all the age categories, so there were a real range of entrants there, and it's really awesome to see all the different types of people who are getting involved with fell running. I'd been doing loads of road running and cross country before this race, and I didn't have so much experience on the fells compared with lots of the other people there, so I knew that my relative strength in this race was going to be on the flat sections and using my leg speed to really extend out on people while I could. So early on in the race I took it out quite hard. I was trying to make up some time, and hopefully as we got onto the flat section through the fields I'd get in a nice steady clip and run it like a cross country race before I'd probably slow down up the big hills.
It was empty. Come on, Finn! Under we go, son! Over.
So this was the start of the big climb in the race, and up to this point I was feeling pretty good. I've been moving quickly and I've been achieving the kind of paces that I wanted to be doing, and I'd also been avoiding walking at all, which is something which really slows you down, but it's quite common in fell racing because it gets pretty steep and you really don't have a choice, or unless you raise your fitness enough, which mine isn't quite there. So at this point in the race is when I'm going to have to slow down and walk. I'm not quite as used to doing this as running, and a lot of the other competitors are more used to it, so I'm going to be at a disadvantage, and I'm going to need to really work hard to keep up and keep on pushing through. So on the steeper section of the climb where everyone needed to walk, I was actually holding my position fairly well, and no one was really moving past me too much, and I wasn't dropping too much from where I was in the race, feeling pretty good. But then, as we got about halfway up, the ground started to level off slightly, and some other people had managed to get their lactate down, get moving again, and started running as it flattened out a bit. I was already feeling completely cooked at this point in the race, so whilst other people started to run again, I was still walking for some sections, which I really should have been running if my fitness was better. this wasn't helped by the fact that I also was using some new gear because I was borrowing some gear from friends for the race. So I had on a bum bag, and I had the absolute worst stitch of my life and was really struggling with that. But it wasn't a great section of the race for me here, and I was feeling pretty bad and probably should have pushed a bit harder through this. I don't really know what I could have done differently beyond just more training on the fells, getting the hills a bit more, and actually get my body more used to getting moving again after I've been walking.
Okay, good.
The final part of the ascent was really, really stunning. Like, we just went into the clag, and then all of a sudden we just had snow everywhere. We had a little bit of breeze, but it was still quite still, and you get this weird sensation of, the air around you is super, super cold, but because you're working so hard, you're really, really warm. So you don't quite feel the cold, and it's all a bit, it's more like you're watching it through a screen or something, or you're watching, it's a bit of a out of body experience, almost, of like pushing through the pain and just taking in this weird kind of winter wonderland, different world that you've suddenly entered into above the clouds. The ground also levels out here, and even more people come past me, so I really should be running a bit more. I've walked too much of this climb and it's lost me a few places. I haven't done too badly though. I'm still holding on quite nicely. I know that I'm around the mid to late 20s in the position, so I haven't lost too much. I'm still in good contention to keep pushing forwards and doing well on the next section. So I'm feeling alright, and I'm looking forward at this point to the end of the climb, which I know is pretty close at this point because I've recce'd some of the course before, so I know that we must be near the summit of Blencathra. So as we reach the summit, I'm feeling awesome. I'm thinking, worst part of the race behind me now. It's all going to be easy from here. Great, hard work done. Oh my god, I was so wrong. The descent was so awful. We're going to get to that. But at this point in the race, I am just freewheeling down the ridgeline. Feels awesome. Feeling really, really fast. Enjoying stretching my legs out a bit. Getting the heart rate back down and just moving forwards. Looking to try and take a few places. The top of Blencathra kind of surprised me, so it's a hard left turn off the path and straight down the side of the mountain, so it's a bit of a weird sensation because you think you're running along the path, and then I just saw the marshal out to the left to take a sharp left turn, and then suddenly it got super steep. The top of this descent was so awful for me, so I could barely even stay on my feet. I had the grass was really slippy below, and I was wearing the wrong shoes. I had a pair of trail shoes on, so most people in this race would have been wearing fell shoes, which have slightly more grip, but mainly I was just crap at running downhill, so I needed to stay on my feet a bit more, have a bit more confidence to lean forwards, and every single time I fell over, I basically shredded my legs, which were completely covered in grass burn by the bottom of the hill, and I slid down half of it, and it really would have been a lot quicker if I'd committed myself a bit more and just charged down, it was not a fast section of course for me, and I lost a few places. Now luckily, because it's downhill, it's all quite fast, so even though I was losing places, I didn't lose that many because the section was over quite quickly, and as we got more towards the bottom, it started to level out a bit. So from here, the ground's a bit more level. My confidence in myself at this point is really low. I'm thinking that I've just messed this race up, so I'm not actually gunning it too hard because I've realised that there's not loads of places I can take, and I don't want to completely cook myself for 1 or 2 races because I don't want to destroy all my training. So I'm moving forwards, I'm enjoying stretching my legs out a bit, but I am definitely disheartened because I've done the descent so badly. But it's nice, the weather is beautiful, the surroundings are beautiful, and I'm hoping I can steal back 1 or 2 final places as we come in towards the line. The final section in towards the line is the fastest of the race, and it's really quick, just downhill, slight gradient, and I really managed to charge in towards the finish line, and oh my god, am I grateful to see the finish line, because that has been a super tough race, and I was quite ready to get back and do some more cross country again, or road running, or something where I don't fall over about 500 times, or have to climb up 800 meters of climb. But then again, I'm sure I'll be back. Not sure I can say I'm looking forward to the next one yet, but there will be a next one. So, maybe I'll see you there.
Holy shit.